Hey everybody, Final Richie, another video. I just did the Vinyl Tag 2021 and I had such a good time with it. I decided I was going to do the totally random Vinyl Find 2021 from a galaxy far, far, far away. And I got the 20 questions here and I'm going to just jump right into it. The first one is show a Paul McCartney album. And I'm showing Paul McCartney at Amoeba, live at Amoeba Records. Now, I figured they chose this question because McCartney 3 just barely came out, and that's the McCartney I'm going to show. It's pretty cool, pretty good album. It's really cool that he did a random gig at Amoeba. My next one is show an album without Ringo. And now, there's lots of albums that don't have Ringo, but I figured I'd show my Beatles album without Ringo. The Beatles, the Decatapes. And yeah, really cool. And here it has the untold story of the Decatapes. Really interesting stuff, if you ever see that. Now the next one is a guilty pleasure with a Beatles connection. And I'm showing the Red Hot Chili Peppers, the Abbey Road EP. For me, the Red Hot Chili Peppers are a guilty pleasure because I do not like the Red Hot Chili Peppers. This album, or it's an EP, this is pretty good though. It's the early stuff. The stuff that's produced by George Clinton. And it's also got the song True Men Don't Kill Coyotes, which is maybe my favorite song by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. The next, most of these I don't have to look at the question. I can look at the record and I know what the question is. And this next one is show an album that has a side of music that is over 30 minutes long. Some of those 70s Miles Davis ones probably fit that bill, but I picked one that I just recently got. I won this in the charity auction, the VC charity auction, and Vinyl Archivist sent this my way. It's Station to Station. This version came out, it's a gatefold, came out when the Sound and Vision box set came out. And side 1 is over 30 minutes long. It has the whole album minus the very last song. So almost the whole album is on side 1. Side 2 has the last song from the original album and 2 bonus tracks. So that's my album with 30 minutes of music on one side. Now the next one is show an album that the complete album is less than 30 minutes. And I'm going to show the Ramones debut. This is the box set that came out because it's got a vinyl version that's in mono. I thought, you know, wow, I'm going to really like that. And I must admit, I like the stereo version better. The next question is show an album that is musically a mixed bag. And I'm showing Richie Havens' Mixed Bag. I believe this is his debut album. The next question. Show an album that takes you to another level. Well, there's a lot of those, you know, mind-expanding albums. But I'm picking Kazaa Doom, level 6.5. And here's a picture of the band. Pretty cool album cover. If I remember right, the vocalist on that one's a little wanky. Show an album, a best of album. Next question. Okay. Show an album, a best of album, with a musician or a member with the name Bob. And I'm picking the best of Judas Priest with Bob Halford. Next question. Show an album with an eye on the cover. And I went with Introspection by the End fantastic 60s psych album produced by Bill Wyman of the Rolling Stones. Just fantastic stuff there. Now this next one is Show an Album with an illustrated eye on the cover. And I'm showing Foxygen's. What do you call this thing? We are the 21st century ambassadors of peace and magic. A modern day psych classic. I think this is their best album, though I haven't heard all their albums. Side one of this is darn near perfect, or it is perfect. Pick that up. Now this next one is Show an Album with an eye on the cover with a band in the eye. And that's this one here. The Psychedelic Soul, the Freak Scene. And right here you can see the band right there in the eye. Pretty cool. Now the next question is, show an album with an eye on the cover, a lion on the cover, blue hands, and an orange reddish sky. And here we go. It's Harvey Mandel's Crystal Redentor. Right here's the eye. You might not be able to see it that good. My favorite Harvey Mandel album by far, of all the ones I've heard. I haven't heard all of his. Most of the other ones that I've heard are pretty basic blues, and they don't do anything for me. This is really, really good. It's almost as good as the cover. The next album is Show an Album with a hot bass player. Now, frequently the bass player is kind of like the odd man out, or, you know, like take Van Halen, for instance. You know, he's kind of the chubby, nerdy dude. And I can name countless bands where the bass player is kind of like the goofball. Or, I mean, if you're a female, you can pick Paul McCartney, I would imagine, you know. I mean, if I was a female, I would be picking Paul McCartney. But I'm not a female. And I'm picking the bass player for La Luz. I think she's pretty hot. And this is their latest album, Floating Features. And I've noticed they haven't come out with an album for a while. And all their latest photos only show the three. They don't show the drummer. And I believe she's the one that's been with the primary songwriter the longest. So I don't know what's going on. Shauna Cleveland is the songwriter's name. Now this next question is kind of related to that last one. It's Show an Album cover with three nerds, one hot dude with glasses, and a hot chick on the cover. And I'm going with this. This is Master Jack. It's 4 Jacks and a Jill. I believe they're from South Africa. And they had a hit song in the 60s, Master Jack, I believe it was. Yeah. Which is the hot dude with the glasses? I mean, come on, man. That guy's hot. I think. Next question. Pick an album with Frank Zappa and Captain Beefheart on it. There's several. But I'm picking this one, Zapped. It's a compilation of songs off of albums on Bizarre Straight Records. You got Frank Zappa here, and right down there you got Captain Beefheart. You got maybe the best song off of Captain Beefheart's Trout Mask Replica, The Blimp. Now, I actually think that song's pretty cool. Overall, the album sucks. But it's got some pretty cool stuff on here. And the Frank Zappa song is Willie the Pimp, which has Captain Beefheart on it. It's got Lord Buckley, Jeff Simmons, some very early Alice Cooper. The next album, show an album, a progressive jazz album with a great mustache. And I'm showing Return to Forever featuring Chick Corea. No mystery. Look at that, man. Chick Corea, man. That's a great mustache. Now, Al Di Meola, that's not so great of a mustache. That's kind of like a Davis Winchester mustache, actually. If you're hearing the knocking, I start making this video, and the guy across the street decides he's going to make a fence. Next question. My favorite question of this vinyl tag. Show an album cover with a dude or a girl, female, playing a guitar, making a fuck face. And I picked the Brothers Johnson. Straight to number 1. Look out for number 1, which has a great version of Come Together, the Beatles song, and their hit, Get the Funk Out My Face. Man, look at that. That's a fuck face. And that's not a bad one either. Next question. Show an album with a black dude playing guitar on the cover with a pinkish sky. Well, it has to be this one, doesn't it? The Alarm Clock. I know there's a lot of choices out there, but I picked the most obvious. Richie Havens, Alarm Clock. This is the album that I believe came out shortly after Woodstock. He was the first person to play at Woodstock, I believe. Now, the 19th question. It's show an album with various birdies on the cover and somebody covering their genitals. And that is Sun Ra and his Intergalactic Orchestra. It's After the End of the World. Fantastic album cover. You got a duck up here, got an owl, you got some little birdies down here, maybe they're budgies, and you got a couple of birds somewhere else. Yeah, right here on the apple. And right here you got somebody covering their genitals. Yeah, man, all the boxes are checked. And the last album, last question, probably the hardest one for me. What's your favorite Beatles album? And I'm going with the White Album. It may not be their best, but it's my favorite. And that's it. If you want to jump in to the totally random Vinyl Tag 2021 from a galaxy far, far away, just feel free to. I'll probably leave the questions in the description, or I'm more likely not to and make you have to watch the video and write them down as I go along. Take care, everybody. Take care.